either way, you wasted that money. Oh well, learn from it and just do better. And I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. And he was like, all right, listen, bro, sit y'all down at this desk right where I'm sitting right now, and pull out your iPad or your computer or whatever you do, and write a script. I'm gonna go play this game over here. I'll come back over, and if I don't see a script, we'll fight you. And I was like, all right, all right, cool. So got my iPad and I put on a movie, and next thing you know, I had an idea of like a MMA story, and I was watching a movie called Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Love that movie so much. One of my favorite movies of all time. And came with the idea of metal glove boxing, and Metalloboxes came out about 3 months after that, almost to the day.
I read that one. I liked it. I enjoyed that.
In a world of heroes, villains, and epic stories,
Braha, Omicron, and their ultimate sidekick, Panel Pete, take you on adventures each week.
showing off their comic book hauls,
Fun trivia and games, honest reviews,
and inspiring conversations with the creators and consumers who make it all possible.
Join in on the conversation.
This is Talkin Comics.
So, welcome to Talkin Comics. We got Elijah Chatmon with us. Give us a little bit of background about yourself.
All right. Well, hello. My name is Elijah Chatmon. I am the owner of Pocket Size Comics, and I am the co-owner / founding member of Radical Comics with Ronnie Creates, aka Ronnie Martin. I don't know how you guys know him online. I've been in the comics scene for about coming up on 4 years now. I have about 3 books out now. One that's releasing currently on GlobalComics, and 2 that are have been released for a year for one and a year and a half for the other. And I'm ready to make comics my life. I love this scene and I love the space in general. And I've loved it since I was little. So I'm just ready to make this my whole career.
I hear you. How did you meet Ronnie?
Actually, funny enough, I met Ronnie off of TikTok. My mom sent me a TikTok of so just a little background. I'm mixed.
Sure.
I'm very mixed. I'm Cuban, I'm black, I'm white, I'm a little bit Indonesian, a little bit of native Indian, like it's everything. But mainly Cuban, black, and white. And my mom is always looking for young creators of color to help me, have me support or get with. And she sent me a video of Ronnie, one of the videos that he posted about him being on the news in his city. And she sent it to me. I was like, look at this young man. He's doing great. You should team up with him. And I kind of was like, I don't want to bite off of his stuff. I want to do my own thing. So I kept eye on him in the peripheral, but I kind of kept going forward my own way. And then I decided to kind of expand on Instagram and TikTok a lot. I didn't really know how. Then I heard Radical Comics was doing a small recruitment thing. And I was like, okay, let me join the server and see. I joined, talked to him on VC, happened to catch him. We talked for about 5-10 minutes. And then he said, if you want to join Radical, we can probably make that happen. I'm like, all right. Then in June, late May, beginning of June of last year, I finally got into actual Radical. And then from there, from June to like August, September, I kind of just hunkered down and did every single thing I could for them. I did their website. I helped fix their margins for, buying versus selling. I helped do a bunch of stuff for promotion. I helped do a bunch of concepts for designs, helped Ronnie figure out a lot of story stuff. And since then, I've been doing everything that I can with Radical and for Radical. Since there's been ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster, but it's been fun. And I see Ronnie as an actual friend, and I see him as someone I can go to, and I have gone to with stuff that kind of bothers me within like the political space or even within my personal life. I'm very open with who I am, and he's a very accepting person, so it works out really well.
Yeah, I mean, him and I sat down, had a great conversation on here a couple episodes ago. He's very inspirational, very approachable, like you said, and like same as me. Just sent him a message on TikTok, and it just never ended, from there. So it became a good, a cool ally in the industry for sure. So you have your own brand too. So Pocket Size Comics, right?
Yeah.
When did you create that? What got you into that?
2020, I kind of toyed with the idea. There's a story called Pocket Sand which is out right now. It has been out for a while. That my brother and I, it was a running joke between my brother and I. I'm the youngest of 5 biological, and a bunch adopted. And on my dad's side, I have 2, and huge family. And sorry. Anyway, I would talk with him, and we'd play fight. We both did combat sports throughout our lives. I did wrestling and jiu-jitsu and a little bit of Muay Thai. He did boxing, a little bit of Muay Thai. He did jiu-jitsu also. And we would just go and like fight with each other and just talk shit. We'd just be like, "Hey, F you, I'm gonna punch you in your face. I'm gonna grab your nipple. I'm gonna take your pinky toe off and put it in your butt." Like just stupid, crazy stuff that teenage boys say to each other. And I think he was like, he did the whole Tobey Maguire, "I'm going to throw dirt in your eye." And I was like, dirt, I'm going to throw sand in your eye. And he was like, "Where's the sand coming from?" I was like, "Duh, my pockets." And he looked down, and I was like, just imagine I had a pocket full of sand. And we were laughing. And so we came up with this character named Luke. His last name was actually a really shitty joke. His last name is Lil''Diche. So it's Lil Dick, but it's Ladish because he's French, Canadian French or whatever. And his name is Luke. And he's a guy, just like the cover shows, with a wife beater and cargo shorts, who went to the beach, got sand in his pockets, couldn't get it out, then happened to stop a crime, and now he thinks he's a superhero. The subtitle is Another Ridiculous Hero, because he is. He's a hero that's just really ridiculous. He's very he's not self-aware with anything. He can't read the room at all. He's politically incorrect. Like, we had this whole thing where he wins this bounty by catching this villain on accident, and he's rich, but he keeps getting sued for public indecency because his suit keeps malfunctioning. And just a bunch of crazy, stupid stuff. We have a bunch of stories. And I was like, we have to make this a show. And he was like, "That's a lot of money." I'm like, "Let's do a comic book then." And I think, comic books are cheap, right? No, they're not. But I'm thinking comic books are cheap. Let's do comic books. He went on, and he's older than me, like I said, so he got a girlfriend, and they kind of starting their life together. And I told him, "I'm going to do this." And I wrote the script, showed it to him, and then he was like, "Okay, cool." As I mentioned in our conversation before the recording, I got scammed out of $1,600 by the artist that I had. I got to a point where I was auto sending money to him every week, just because it was the payment plan that we negotiated. And then once I realized I didn't have much work from him, I was like, "Oh shit, let me just stop sending money, get that work, and then send money again." I told him, "Hey, I sent you this much money, and you have not given me that much money's worth of work, so this needs to change." And he goes, yeah, that's perfectly fine. I'm sorry, I've been really behind on work because this and that, and da-da-da. And I'm like, "All right, cool. We're fine as long as I get the work." He's like, "Yeah." So this went on for 2 months. I'm asking for this work. And I got I think a total of a cover, 2 concept covers that were rough sketches, 3 officially done pages, and then a drawing, a character design drawing that was just line art of Luke, aka Pocket Sand, his daughter Daisy, and his wife Anya. And that was it. I got nothing else. And I was just like, damn, I don't have shit. I don't have anything from him. That's a lot of money to go into it. And I did the math, and it was $1,600. He hasn't responded in a month. What the hell's going on? And I just kept talking, and then his account went blank. And I was just like, damn, the one thing I wanted to do, I've always wanted to do something with art, with comics, with media in general. And I just kind of sat in my room. I was pissed. And I was just like, man, I don't want to do anything at all. Comics, anything to do with it, I don't care about it at all. I don't care about, I don't even want to read comics anymore. I just want to live my life and just do what I do away from comics. I'm done. And I kind of sat there, and I was kind of in my feelings. And my brother came over and was like, "What's going on?" And I told him. And he's like, "Man, make another comic book. Make another story. You can write." And I'm like, "Nah, but it's man." He's like, "Are you broke? The money's gone. It's gone. It's been gone. Even if he gave you the work, it's still gone. Either way, you wasted that money. Oh, well, learn from it and just do better." And I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. And he was like, "Oh, listen, bro, sit your ass down at this desk right where I'm sitting right now and pull out your iPad or your computer, whatever you do, and write a script. I'm going to go play this game over here. I'll come back over. And if I don't see a script, we're fighting. And I was like, all right, all right, cool. So got my iPad and I put on a movie. And next thing you know, I had an idea of like a MMA story. And I was watching a movie called Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Love that movie so much. One of my favorite movies of all time. And came with the idea of metal glove boxing, and Metalloboxes came out about 3 months after that, almost to the day.
I read that one. I liked it. I enjoyed that. It was good.
Yeah, thank you. So then after I did Metallobox, and I had so much good feedback and so many people telling me I did really good with it, and that I have a talent for it, I went back and did Pakistan with the same artist that I did Metallobox with. So she did both books, and she's going to be continuing both series.
How did you
and
go?
That's how it's been.
We'll get back to the comics. How did you go from, you sat there, you wrote the script, you were down, your brother's going to kick your ass if you don't write a script. How'd you find the artist for this book, and how'd that come about?
So I actually found both artists on Facebook.
Okay.
I was told I would watch videos here and there. It's weird because it's like, it almost feels like until before I started comics, and I'm not saying I changed anything, but just in general, the timing is weird because it feels like before I started comics, there was no resources out there to help people who make comics. But now every person I know who makes comics is making videos. How I made my comic, how much it spent, how much, and I'm just like, damn, I could use this 4 years ago. Like, damn, it would have helped me a lot.
Right.
But yeah, so I just
have you met this artist in person?
No. She is in the UK.
Okay.
Nigerian born, and she lives in the UK. I've done a lot of work with her. The first artist, his name was Sulu, and he was from Indonesia. And he, like I said, everything happened with him.
Right.
And I was searching through Facebook, and I was like, I need an artist to continue a project. My budget is small. I need someone to get this work done. I was put out on my ass, and I need someone to help pick me up. And she came through and was like, hey, I'm looking for work. And I saw one of her references, like one of her drawings in her portfolio, that was a guy throwing a sidekick, and he had like gray gloves on. But at a quick glance, they looked metallic. And I was like, dude, that's literally what I'm trying to get going. Then I looked closer, and they were just like regular boxing gloves, but they're gray. And I told her, like, hey, this exact reference photo is kind of the idea I want to work off of for the book. And I told her, like, listen, I will pay this much. You give me this much worth of work. Then I'll pay the next much. Then you give me the next part. Like, I don't want to give you a lump sum.
The first one.
Right, exactly. I told her, hey, if you're like, I think it was $50 a page, being transparent. I think it was 40 or 50. I said, hey, every week when I can, I'll give you $100. Do 2 pages. We're doing 2 pages a week. And once you do those 2 pages, if I have the money or when I get the money, I can send you another $100, 2 pages. And then as I get more comfortable and more trusting with you, I'll send $400. I'll send $300. I'll send more just so we can get the book done faster. But as of right now, I'm only sending for like 1 or 2 pages. And then like one thing that I even have a problem with now is I have really bad print prepping. So I always forget I need a title card. I need a logo. I need a corner, like a price box, thing to go in the corner with the logo and all that. I need, what type of lettering am I going to put on the front to show my name, show their name. I need to letter the book. I need to do this. I need this. I need to download some new fonts or use some new fonts that I haven't used yet, so it doesn't look like the same lettering in each book. I need to I have notes on all my books. So like with Pakistan, his lettering is like an orangish yellow to kind of match the Pakistan theme. And so, Deadpool has like the light yellow,
right,
like the dark yellow and like the white, because he has the 3 personalities. Pakistan just has like the orangish yellow. And all his lettering, when he speaks, that's only he has that.
Right.
And then like his wife has regular white, his daughter has regular white, everyone else is regular white. But then like this alien he fights, I have to change it. But in the end of the book, it's like a green with like yellow lettering. And I guess it was like on print, it's hard to see, which is something also I didn't really think about. But yeah, like small stuff like that is what I always forget. And what made me kind of trust her more and have her do the second book or have her continue Pocket Sand was the fact that when Metallobox was getting ready to print, I'm putting all the files into Comics Wellspring, and I'm like, shit, I don't have a cover, I don't have a back cover, I don't have an inside front cover, I don't have an inside back cover. I'm like, damn, how am I going to order this? So I text her, hey, if I send you this much money next week, can you do this for me right now? She's like, yeah, how long do you need? I said, I need it ASAP, but don't rush yourself. Like, don't kill yourself trying to get it done. In an hour, she gave me all 4 pieces I needed, plus the title card. Like, I usually design my own title cards, but she designed the one from Metallobox. And I put it all together, and boom, like that was it. And she said, there you go. And I was like, thank you. Shoot. And this was after I had knee surgery because I worked at Home Depot and I fell off of a forklift because it was wet, and I tore my ACL and meniscus on my left knee. So I was drugged up. This was like, I think the day of surgery when I got the 2-day warning for Metallobox. And then 2 days after my surgery date, I had got the actual copies in my living room.
Wow.
Yeah, so the promoting and stuff was really hard to get done. But I got it done, and I had a lot of help with it. And then after I got on workers' comp and was down and out, I had nothing else to spend money on. So I just told her, hey, let's do Pocket Sand. We worked on Pocket Sand from October, November, all the way until February. It was finished in February, and I released it in April because I had a con in April of last year. And now the rest is history. I've sold over 100 copies of both books. So
awesome.
I'm really fortunate. I met a bunch of comic legends like Jim Starlin, James O'Barr, Ken Wheaton, if you know who that is. And they've all read my comics and bought my comics from me and told me I'm good. Bud Bodansky, the guy who did I want to say the 80s Ghost Rider run. I could be wrong. He did a couple covers and everything. He's my definitive Ghost Rider artist, but that's just me. He's awesome. The lady who voiced the nurses from Pokemon, like all the series, Nurse Joy, she bought one of my comic books. Lou Ferrigno bought one of my comic books, and I had lunch with him at one of the conventions I went to. Like, I've had the most fun just doing this stuff, and it's literally just me doing what I love, and it's me investing into me,
right?
Which is what I love about it.
That's awesome. You go and you buy all the comics yourself and then sell them at conventions. Do you sell them online anywhere?
I had a website, pocketsizedcomics.com. It's down currently. I'm reworking the whole thing because there's a problem with the ordering, and I was losing money. People would order, and it wouldn't notify me, and then people would refund, and they refund out of the money that I didn't get. So it'd refund out of my money, and I didn't get the payout yet, so I was losing money by not getting notified yet. So I'm reworking the whole thing. That should be out by the end of the year, hopefully. And when it is, it'll be on my Instagram and TikTok and everything. But as of right now, if you want a copy, you can DM me on Instagram at Pocket Size Comics, or even on TikTok at Pocket Size Comics, and I'll do an order with you, especially just to get it to you. But for after this upcoming Sunday, all my books will be on GlobalComics for free to read. So I'm after about a year and some change of my books being out, I put them out for free after I sell as much as I want to sell.
Okay.
I put them on for free.
I was going to ask you how what's your thought process behind, you just sent me a link to the metal one, and I was like, okay, it's on here for free, which is cool, but how does that help you? Exposure, but so it's after a year trying to sell it.
Yeah, so if it's not necessarily a year, it's more of hitting the goal.
Okay.
So if let's say I spent $1,000 on the book, and I sell the books for $100 a piece, when I sell 10 books, I make my money back.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So then I'm gonna want to sell. Maybe I want to sell 20 books to make my money back, and then some.
Right.
And then after that, I don't really. The money's cool, but after that, I don't really care. I hit my margins. I hit the
right. So you put it out for free, but you still have it available for sale at conventions, stuff like
exactly.
that.
It's only
autograph
for free
copies,
whatever.
whatever.
It's only for free on digital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
You wouldn't be able to come up to me and be like, "Hey, let me get a book."
Let me get a book for free, man. Come on, send me one. No.
I'll be like, "Give me $15 and you can get a book.
$15,
whichever one book you want."
J Muse right there, but if you know who J Muse is, but
I'm recognizing the name. Yeah,
you know, Jay and Silent Bob. It's what Kevin Smith's up here somewhere. Actually,
I think it's cut out. Yeah, he's cut out.
Yeah, it's cut off of this scene. But I had my daughter hit it.
Yeah, see, Harley Quinn got knocked over too.
Yeah, so Jay and Silent Bob did an Archie series a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow, that's cool.
My daughter hit it with her Harley Quinn stuff.
Yeah, Harley Quinn's right above. She's knocked over too.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are so cool, the little Funkos.
They just don't stand up. I even have like
not at all
Velcro on the bottom of them, and they still fall over. So annoying. But
I had like a $2,000 collection of them that I sold, end of last year. I was buying them just to buy them. Wasn't really buying them because I wanted any of them. I was just being like, Marvel, let me buy. So now I'm restarting. I've been into the Marvel Legends though. Like this Hercules right here.
Oh yeah.
The 112 scales. Oh my gosh. I have Black Panther and Spider-Man up here too on my desk, but I have totes of like other figures that I just like. I put them on my thing when I'm writing scripts. I just pose them, just to. It's like a fidget toy to kind of mess with, keep my head in superhero space. I got some wrestlers up.
All right,
too,
so about that, so we talk, about your actual creating. When you're writing, like, what's your ritual? Is that one of your rituals to like kind of pose the X figures up there to help inspire the story, or?
Yeah, so it depends because when I first started writing and I first started producing stuff, I couldn't do it if I wasn't under the influence. I just kind of paired those two together because one of the people I was working with was doing like, smoking like I was. So like I could, but I told myself I couldn't, I should say. And then once I stopped doing that and I realized, damn, it's been 5 months since I wrote anything, I got to finish this stuff. I kind of sat down and just did it one day. And it was really bad. It was so bad, but I did something. Then when I got in there and I reread what I wrote originally, plus the added on stuff, it started with me just editing small things to just being like, let me just rewrite the whole thing. I kind of have to, how to explain this? I kind of have to make it the last option. So it has to be like, if I have 5 things to do on this computer and one thing to do on this computer, this iPad, I have to do the 5 things first so that the only thing I can focus on and I think about is writing. So if I have like a video to make on DaVinci, or if I have a video to watch on YouTube, or if I have a stream to be part of, or if I have a TikTok live to be part of, or if I have to, search and reference photos and compile, Google Drive links and stuff for artists and such. Or if I'm in a call on Discord and people are talking and we're all conversating, my mind is going everywhere. But let's say I'm watching a movie or watching a movie with a group, like a Discord group. I can sit there and kind of calm, and then I can pull it out, and then I used to just start reading from the very top. Even if I'm on the last page, I'll read from the very top, and I read until I kind of feel myself, like it's like a feeling almost. Music helps a lot. Something in the background helps in general. I can't talk while I'm doing it because my mind cannot do that 2-piece conversation, because I'm already talking to myself when I'm writing. I'm already talking to myself in character. So I'll be in character like, Pocket Sand will be like, why'd you write that in my script? You're dumb. Fix that, Elijah. And I'll be like, you Pocket Sand, like, I'm the creator. I write what I want. But you're not wrong. That is kind of dumb. Like I have those conversations in my head where it's like, knowing this character, would they really say booyah? No. They'd say hell yeah. Like, right. Knowing this character, would they really flip the middle finger to someone? They probably throw something at them. They probably throw a rock at them. or knowing this person, or knowing what I'm trying to make this person as, would they really care if this dude got killed? No, they wouldn't. There's a damn fly trying to get me. There's like, I have to think of within the context of the characters what has to happen, and then once I figure that out, I write it down, and then I format it the way I format it, and that's kind of how it is. And like with lettering and context, with dialogue, it changes so much. If you read the actual script to Metallobox or Pocket Sand, and you read Pocket Sand, it would be like there's two different books, with the same kind of idea, because a lot of the things that I thought would look cool and sound cool within the context of the book, when I look at the art, because the art's not going to be exactly what I think it'd be to be. The artist has their own way of expressing what they read. So when I look at the art and when I look at the style they did, I'm not gonna go and be like, draw it the exact way I want it. I'm gonna, I always tell my artists, like, I'm working with you because I trust your artistic expression. I trust the fact that you can convey what I want to convey, but also add your 2 cents into with the way you want to do it. So I never get mad when it comes to, unless it's like if the premise of the page is, me and you get into a fist fight, but the artist draws me and you hugging, I'm gonna be like, what the, like, you didn't even read the script. Right. They're supposed to punch each other. Like, why are they hugging? They're supposed to, you're supposed to hit them with the Macho Man and drop the elbow on them, but no. So that's different. But like, if it's like, for the first panel, it's like page 1, panel 1, Elijah punches AJ in the face, and instead they're like, well, Elijah would be more of a character to sit back and wait for AJ to attack, because according to page 5, Elijah said he's mainly passive aggressive and he doesn't like to be confrontational. But AJ said he likes to be confrontational, so he's going to punch first, then Elijah's going to punch him back. That type of stuff is what I like. Like diving into that. Like, if they can catch stuff that I can't catch, it's awesome. So that it changes a lot.
Creative process and the whole process.
Yeah, so it changes a lot, but it's fun. That's just fun in general.
What are some of the other bigger challenges you faced in the creating process?
Budgeting. I sometimes, like, as someone who pays an artist and doesn't do my own art, I do everything I can do. Like, I do my own lettering, I do my own graphic designing, I make my own logos for the most part. Everything I can do and I can put on me, I will, but there's just things I can't do. And anyone who is in the scene and does the research and knows the people, they know that the bar for pricing has gone up almost double. Most people that I would talk to before would be like $40 to $50 a page. Now the smallest I'm seeing is 80 to 100. And it's like, okay, I get it, inflation, and I get it's hard work. And I'm not saying I don't want to pay you that much. I'm just saying that when you raise that price up to that point, and it's going to sound really bad, and I don't really care. If I see your price is $50 a page, and I think that's $20 a page worth of artwork, I'm not going to pay you. I'm not going to pick you. If your thing is $120 a page, and you have no credentials, and you have just, like, you're only good in one style, and like stuff like that. I have friends who worked with Marvel who would charge me $120 a page if I wanted to work with them. I'm not going to pay just a random nobody who has nothing that I want, minus like, a page or two that, I think is cool. But I'm not going to tell them, don't charge that much. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what to charge, because that's your process. And I wouldn't want someone to tell me what to charge if I was in your shoes, or if I'm talking about lettering or writing or editing. I don't want nobody to tell me, hey, you can't charge $8 a page for lettering. I do the lettering. Like, people pay it, so I charge it. So I'm not going to go that far. But personally, in my head, when I'm seeing people, people text me all the time, hey, I love your stories. I read this book and I'd love to work with you. And I'll be like, okay, what are your rates? Full page, da da da. Oh, well, some of them will be like, oh, my rates will be $100 a page, but the more pages you do, the less, I charge per page. So if you do 30 pages, then it's $80 a page. It's like, okay, something like that I can get behind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, because that encourages long form work, and that encourages a partnership. And once you're in that partnership, you can talk with someone and be like, hey, you can tell someone, hey, honestly, I don't have it this week. Can I just give you this much and give it the rest to you later on? And, stuff like that can be worked out. But if you're just somebody that I have no idea who you are or what you do, and I ask everybody I know and no one knows who you are or what you do, and it's just like outrageous pricing and not enough work to be shown, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna oblige to that. But I wish you the best that you can get
So
all the commissions you need.
yeah, finding the artist. I mean, it's not easy. I've tried since I want to do everything myself, but I'm trying to figure out how to not do everything myself too. So we'll see.
Right, exactly.
You gotta give up that trust process, go through that trust
Mhm.
process. And so do you you work digitally on when you're lettering and stuff, so you do everything like on an iPad or?
Yeah, I mean, I have my iPad right here. I don't know what type of iPad it is. I forgot, but my iPad, Apple Pencil. It opens up into a keyboard.
Yeah.
I do literally everything on here. I do writing, designing, lettering, everything. I don't do anything on this computer unless I'm compiling things together.
Okay.
Everything happens on this iPad because it's just the way I have to do it. The computer is like, I play games on it. I watch movies on it. I go to, I watch streams on it. I watch my UFC fights, my boxing. This is my everything computer. This is my work iPad. Like,
Right.
It's very rare that I'll sit and just watch something on it. I'll have something on here and I'll be typing right here. And then I'll switch back and forth, or have a monitor here for my gaming. I have different things for different reasons because it can't all be mixed because I'll get nothing done.
Do you have any hidden Easter eggs in your comics?
Yeah, kind of.
If
but
you
not
want to share, you don't have to.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say not like traditional. And in Pakistan, the and they're driving to their vacation. And I think it's page 10 or something like that. And Luke Pakistan is singing a song. And it's J. Cole's No Role Models. And that's just a song that I like a lot and I've rapped 100 times probably. And there's also a part in Metallobox where it's a very small stuff. It's not nothing you'll catch if you don't know me or know about me. There will be more in the books in the future because that's something I did want to do. There's characters that are based off of my family. So if you know what my family looks like and who my family is, then yeah, this right here. This character right here is my brother, who was the one who helped me write this book, which is why I put him in the book. My mic just fell. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard that,
Oh,
but that's fine. I can edit that out. So that's your brother? Yeah. That's in the...
Yeah. So yeah, in this book, it's my brother who helped me figure out I should just keep writing and go for it. Him right here.
That's awesome.
Where is he? Where's my finger? There it is.
Yep.
Right there. And then in this book, in Pakistan, this is my biological brother, the one that I made Pakistan with.
Okay.
In the black. So stuff like that is throughout all my books. There's a bunch of really stupid raunchy jokes. There's a part in Pakistan towards the end where he's getting chased by a police officer, and the police officer's stop, let's just talk. And he's like, no, you're gonna tase me. And the cop is like, I don't even know where my taser is. And he's like, yeah, you're lying to me. And then it cuts to two kids walking down the street eating ice cream. And one of them is like, yo, cool, it's a taser. We should play cops and robbers. And he tases his little kid friend.
Oh God.
And he's like, oh my God, Timmy, are you okay? And that is that's straight from Family Guy.
Okay.
Straight from Family Guy. And I had to add that because I was like, there's a part of the show. I think it was Joe was chasing one of the perps, and he was like, "You're gonna tase me." He was like, "I don't have my taser." He was like, "Yeah, you're lying." And then the kid was like, "Hey, Michael, look." Oh, Michael, are you dead? Like, and I just had to add it.
That's
And then
funny.
at the end of the book, another cutaway from Family Guy, I think it was. He's still running from the cop, and he's running, jumping over fences, and he barges through someone's back door. And before he barges in, he's like running up. It cuts to inside the house. The husband comes in the front door, and he's just like, "Hey, babe, like I'm home." And he's like, "What did I tell you about like leaving the dildos on the floor?" And there's a pile of dildos on the floor. And she's like, "What am I supposed to do when I wash them? They have to dry somewhere." And then then it cuts back to Pakistan running in, and he barges through the back door, and the guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then he trips on the pile of dildos and flies through the front door and lands on the lawn. And like, that's straight from another Family Guy skit. And I can't remember which one that was, but there's he kind of freezes, and he's like, "Did I just trip over a dildo?" And then like he flies. And like there's a lot of things that I take from like Rick and Morty and Family Guy when it comes to Pakistan, because those are the original like ideas behind it. And also it was originally supposed to be an animation.
Right.
So I have a lot of animation things into it. And it will be an animation. The artist who does the book actually does animation also. So once I have about 3 or 4 books out, I'm gonna do an animation of,
Okay.
a couple episodes. So
That'd be really cool.
that's why it's so like animated, because it's supposed to be animation,
Right.
and it's written that way too.
So
I
is
just
book
thought
2
about that.
available yet for Metallobox?
No, so I kind of took time to do stuff with Radical.
Okay.
And I kind of put my stuff to the side because I was in a point where I was in between jobs and didn't have the budget to move forward with that. Metallobox 2 and Pakistan 2 will be announced before the end of the year. And I'm actually, as of yesterday, just got confirmation to work on a short series for Pakistan called Pocket Size Pakistan. And it's going to be a short series of him doing ridiculous stuff. It's going to be like 10, 12-page stories. They're going to be printed in pocket size format, so the 3x4 or whatever it is. And they'll be sold at conventions, and they'll be available online for free on Global. I'm trying to really hammer in the online presence because it's something I didn't do at all starting out. Like, people know me locally. I can walk around to events, and there's not an event I have gone to in the last year or so, whether it be a art festival, like a parade, or anything that has vendors where I have not known at least 3 people. Like, people know me around here, and they know the logo, they know the hoodie. I wear this hoodie all the time.
There you go.
They know the stories. They know me. They know my mom. They know my family who do the vending with me. So there's not a place I go to that they don't know who I am now. But now I'm trying to change that online.
Right.
Make that online.
Get the online
so people know
presence.
me more online.
Yeah, for
exactly.
Sure. Do more convention. Like, so what's the furthest you travel for conventions right now?
The furthest I've traveled currently has been, I think probably Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that might be the first. I don't know. Buffalo or I did one in Syracuse, but I don't know if Syracuse is further. I think it might be. I've stayed in my area. Like, I've done Flower City Comic Con, Rock Con, Rochester Con. I've done Rice Con. I've done Nickel City Comic Con. I've done this small indie expo. I forgot the actual like acronym for it. I've done this one-off like indie comics art festival. I did 2 actual art shows like at art centers. I did one thing at a library. I've done a bunch of stuff, and I've done a lot of these multiple times. Like, I think this year upcoming in September will be my 5th time doing Flower City. And then this past year, I just did RiceCon for the 4th time. Nickel City, I went just to go this year. I didn't go as a vendor. I only did that once. But like a lot of them, I've done multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Radical wants to get up and do more bigger conventions too. So you're going to be a part of that too?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to do MomoCon, what they just did 2 months ago. I wasn't able to. It kind of came up last second. Someone in Radical was already going, and then mentioned, "Well, hey, since we live near each other, let's go." And I was supposed to move when they in May when they were going. I was supposed to move in April, so I was like, I'm not gonna really have time or money for it.
Right.
But then we pushed it back to June, July, which is now beginning of August, just because we wanted to make sure everything was fully squared away. If I would have known that we would have pushed it back, I would have gone. But just for safety assurances and money purposes, I was like, nah, we gotta just go.
You'll get
we
there.
Gotta just not go.
You'll get to some bigger conventions. You have to keep me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Keep me posted because I'm gonna start going to a bunch too, a lot more.
Yeah.
And
let me know.
I'll meet you guys.
I tell everyone. I was gonna say, let me know whenever you guys apply. I'll apply at the same time if it works out for me. Like I don't think about Comic Cons until con season, minus the couple that I do yearly, which is something I have to fix because there's one in North Carolina that I wanted to go to last year. It was a wrestling convention. Okay. And it had the Hardy Boys and it had a couple other people out there that I wanted to meet, and I think Ric Flair was there. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but it was pretty big, and it was in November.
Okay. I'm not sure,
and
I'll have to look at that. I know they have Heroes Con that was last month in Charlotte.
Yeah, Heroes Con is huge.
But there's some more coming up around here too that we can look into.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is your...
And I got family around there too, so it works out.
Yeah, there you go. There's one in Charleston coming up.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that
tell me about it.
Who's your favorite out of your characters? Who's your favorite?
I want to say Hope, but I think it's Pakistan. I'm not gonna lie, because Pakistan, I could kind of do the stupid stuff I wanted to do as a kid,
right?
As a young child, or not a young child, but a young teen, I can do really dumb things, but also do serious things. Hope, I think, because of what he represents and how I made the character, means the most to me, and probably is my favorite in that sense. But Pakistan overall is probably my favorite. I did a series on my TikTok where, how they do the filters where you do a random DC character.
Yeah.
For 4 videos straight, I just did Pakistan solos. Because that's the idea. It's a joke character. That's the idea. He's like a One Punch Man type character. The idea is he's defeating these really strong, overpowered beings with a pocket full of sand and an idiot brain. And that's just the whole thing. He's a socially inept 32-year-old who has sands in his pocket and tries to act like the hero that he isn't. So that's and he's licensed as a hero because of how his origin plays out. And the one part that sucks about making a story and comic books and stuff is that you have to wait as much as the fans have to wait. Because I want to get to the bread and butter of everything I want to get to in Pakistan in issue 3 or 4, but I have to wait because I have to write it, I have to pay for it, I have to produce it, I have to and I'm just ugh, man.
Trying to start a podcast but feeling stuck? At Aquadio, we help creators make waves with everything you need to bring your voice to life. Hosting, recording, editing, and marketing. Whether you're starting from scratch or just need a little help polishing your sound, we're here to hydropower your creativity. Comment on this video or DM us today and let's dive in.
It's almost as bad on you as it is everybody else. So that's
it's even worse because I'm seeing it. I'm like,
you know it. There. That's I don't know, because you actually know what's going to happen. It's just not released yet.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here wondering where book 2 is, and then you already know what it's going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not fair. No.
Exactly.
If you could have a dream collaborator, who would it be?
Oof. I don't know, man. I don't know. Probably Bendis, His Moon Knight is really great. His Daredevil was great. I was really big on what's his name? The guy who did Spider-Man recently.
Kevin Smith? No, he wrote one story in a one shot.
He the guy who created Spider-Boy.
Don't
Everyone
give me the
hates him
line.
now.
I don't know.
Everyone hates him now, but I'm blanking on the name. I was really big on him for a while, but then I kind of was like, he did some BS with Spider-Man. So probably Bendis.
Okay.
Or if not Bendis, Frank Miller's Punisher. Like that Frank Miller. Yeah, I want that.
Right.
I could do 100 stories with that alone.
Right. That'd be pretty cool. What advice would you give aspiring creators that are just like you?
Just create. Do something. If you can't write, learn how to write. If you can't letter, learn how to letter. If you don't have the money, save the money. If you don't, you just have to just do. The good thing is with indie creators, you're not held to the same standard that the comic book companies are, where if you release one book every 2 years, that's okay with your fan base, as long as they know. As long as they know and you're keeping them updated with what you're creating.
Keeping them informed and updated, that's huge.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing I said before I struggled with was I'll tell people in person at conventions, yeah, it'll be out in 3 months. And then 3 months later, where's the book? Oh, man, something happened. But if I had my Instagram set up and I was typing out, or putting posts, hey, this is delayed because of this. When it happened, then that'd be a different story. So, it's really about keeping your people informed and also striving to just create what you want to create whenever you can. If you have an hour per day and you're really passionate about it, you're going to spend that hour doing what you want to do.
Right.
When I worked at Home Depot, I would literally work from noon to 9, but that's just my regular shift. I was the overtime king, so I would get home at 1 a.m. I had an hour walk to work, an hour walk from work. So I'd basically leave at 10:30, 11 to get to work by noon. And then I would have my full shift, whatever overtime they gave me, whatever I wanted to take, get home at, get off at 12, get home at 1:30, get on a call with a partner that I was working with who was in Spain at the time, helped me write some stuff. Be on there till about 4 a.m, take a nap from 4 to 7, get up, go to the gym, eat, fall back asleep from 9 till 10:30, 11, get up and leave. And that was my every single day for a good year and a half, 2 years, while I was writing, while I was figuring out Pakistan, while I was figuring out what stuff I needed. I was saving up the money to buy the iPad, to buy the Apple Pencil. I got really lucky with the PC. One of my friends was moving to New York City, back to where he's from, the Bronx, and he was like, hey, I need $400 to cover this plane ticket. Just give me $400 and I'll give you the PC. This PC, he built it in 2020. It was worth $2,500. And he just said, hey, just give me the $400 and, some extra money for some food if I'm hungry, and I'll give you the PC. I gave him money in cash. He literally walked to his house, grabbed the PC, walked back, and set it up in my room that same day. And I've had it since, and it's been great since. Haven't had no problems with it. So I got lucky. But if you really need a PC, you don't really need one. But if you need a PC, there's people on Facebook Marketplace. You can buy parts. Buy one part a month for a year. You have a PC in a year. It takes time, but there's ways to find out. You can buy a really shitty one and just upgrade it as you go. There's different ways to do it.
Whatever you put your heart to, you can do. That's
exactly whatever you're passionate about. You'll put your heart into and you'll do it. And if you don't, you're not passionate about it. It's just that simple.
That's right. If you don't feel like doing it, you're not passionate about it. That's okay too. But if you are passionate, you'll find a way. Everybody finds a way. What's something that we didn't cover or I didn't ask that you'd want to cover?
Rento. So my book Rento.
Okay.
Part 1 is on GlobalComics currently. Rento is about a orphan who was dropped off in front of a village in 1627 in Formosa, which is what Taiwan was called before it was called Taiwan. And he grew up in the village as just the village kid. He ended up learning martial arts through the village master because the guy told him basically, you're not going to keep stealing from people and make people's lives hard. We're going to teach you a discipline. He fell in love with martial arts. As soon as he got to a point where he was a master, a group of a rogue militia came through and wiped the whole village, stole the young boys, killed everyone else, and forced the boys to live in their village or to live in their militia and work for them. He worked and did what he had to do for 10 years, and then he was let free in China, southern China. Heard about this immortal technique by one of his students in his dojo he started, and promised the kid he'd help save his father from dying. So he packed up and left, and the rest is what you got to read. Packed up and left. Helping, there's in my story, in my universe, and the superhero universe I'm building, there is a lot of play with spirits and demonic possessions and yokais, whatever you want to call them, ghosts. Because everything in my universe is an energy. Everything represents an energy. Everything holds a certain type of energy. My character Hope, he represents, like, hope is an energy made of other energies. So it's made of solar energy. I'm gonna get this wrong and I'm gonna be mad, but solar energy, I want to say it was kinetic energy and dark energy, and it's 3 parts, like 3.3333 whatever, and then that's like all 3 of those make the spirit of hope, the energy of hope, which is what he is the embodiment of. His name is Hope because he is the concept of hope, the living concept. It's not just a lazy name, I promise. It's because he represents the living concept of it, and that the energy flows through him. And then there's a character like Rento who has dealt with, in a lot of different ways, demonic spirits and demonic possessions and such, who was cursed with his powers and cursed with everything that's happened to him. And for him to meet a character like Hope and for them to interact and for them to kind of change each other's view on the world, where Rento could kind of tell him, like, not everyone is as positive as you think. Not everything is as light and dark as you think. There's gray. There's a lot of gray. Whereas Hope is like, not everything is as gray as you think. There's a lot of light. So you have to introduce each other to each other's world, and each other's frame of thinking, in order to help defeat the person they have to defeat when that crossover happens, which is unwritten currently. So like I'm building this universe from the ground up, and it's starting with Rento. Part 1 is on GlobalComics right now. GlobalComics.com/pocket-sized-comics, I believe is the link. Or if you just search up Rento, Rento, on GlobalComics, it'll be the first thing that pops up. Part 1 is only like 16 pages. It's kind of just like his first origin. The second part, which is the second half of the actual book, which should be released the first week of August. And then 2 weeks after that, the actual full book will be compiled all together on GlobalComics, and put up there. And physical copies will be sold at conventions, online. If you want a physical copy, then they will be sold by me. Like I said before, when the website gets up, it'll be on there. Or it'll be, DM me on Instagram about it. And that kind of starts the universe. Then, like, there's another story called Thunder, Son of Nothingness that is about a female who's just a regular astronaut who gets stuck in space and has a panic attack. And, like, she's just realizing that, like, her life may be over. And then she gets captured by this alien force, and she gets experimented on. And Hope is the person who finds her and comes and saves her. And then once those 3 stories are out, you get a really good connection between what happens in the first 2 books of Hope, what happens in Rento Part 1 or Book 1, and then what happens in Thunder, Sun, and Nothingness. They all kind of connect even more. And then from there, there's a huge history of, there's a huge time jump, and there's also like books to explain what happened between the time jump. There's a plethora of characters and stuff, so I'm excited to get that rolled out. Right now it's in the building block phase. It's in the this is my Iron Man 1, is Rento's my Iron Man 1.
There you go.
And the MC wasn't it's as big as it is, but it all started with Iron Man 1.
That's right. It's not built in a day.
Exactly. So Rento, I've gotten a lot of really good feedback on it. People are telling me it's really good. Part 1 is really it leaves you wanting more. So I'm happy that people like it. I was really nervous about it. I did like no promotion for it because, like I said, things have been crazy for me the last couple months with moving and being between jobs and trying to continue other stuff and also doing stuff with the Radical and but people are loving it, and I'm loving that people are loving it. And I'm happy to show people the character in his totality. I'm happy to get to the point where he becomes a yokai hunter, which is the end result. He becomes a demon hunter, hunts demon spirits to prevent them from corrupting innocent people. And then he introduces a whole new world, the supernatural world of the universe. Like it's so vast. I can't explain.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge, and I'm waiting to show everything because it's really fun. It's really fun to get these characters drawn out and get these characters sketched out. And
do you have a new artist you're working with them, or
yeah, so I have artist? My friend Craig.
Okay.
Craig ARE, Craig R. He is on Instagram. He is on TikTok. No, he's not on TikTok. He's on Instagram, and he's on Pinterest a lot, weirdly, for references and stuff. But no, he's awesome. He is actually the artist for Hope.
Okay.
Rento was actually a book done by a friend who's in Radical named Daisha Young, aka Chaos Queen. And then Thunder, Sun, Nothingness is by an artist I found through my artist who did Metallobox, Michelle. His name is Mason Kyler, and he's awesome. And he's been very patient with me with everything that's been going on. So nothing but respect for him. But for the main Hope books, Craig will be the artist, Craig R. And then the other stories will have various artists throughout, because most of these are one-shot, one-offs to kind of start the building blocks.
Right.
Hope will be the main ongoing, starting out up until like issue like 5 or 6. Then that'll introduce other characters to be, in the universe, and other mainline like ongoings to go, because he's not going to be the only character that has a. Excuse me. Wow, excuse me. He's not the only character who's going to have a ongoing, but he's going to be the main one up until we get to modern day and introduce everything. So I'm excited, man. Like it's. I'm already thinking of like merch for like phone cases and posters and trading cards and action figures. Like I'm searching up all that stuff right now because I want to work towards all that. I already have a couple little animations being made, and that have been made. I have 2 theme songs made for Hope already, and I'm getting a 3rd one made that's going to be more of like a Avengers like grandiose like epic theme song. I have theme songs being made for Rento, and a bunch of other characters that I'm introducing slowly. So I'm getting really deep into like everything.
Everything,
Really deep into
we'll keep it going for sure.
And stuff.
Like, don't stop.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely won't. I gotta make sure this stuff goes
right.
It's cool because like my family, my girlfriend, my friends, they all support it. So it's something that I can do and not have to worry about getting any drawback with. I mean, outside, haters are going to hate whatever. People are going to shit on it. People are going to be like, oh, you're just a shitty little indie creator. That stuff doesn't really affect me. I'll bite back if I feel like it. But usually it's just like, whatever.
Yeah. They
For the
only
most
hate it
part,
because
I'm
they are not doing it. And they're
right.
miserable.
They hate us because they
So
hate
that's right.
us.
They'll put themselves
um,
out there eventually.
yeah, exactly.
No, that was, I
You
think,
know,
a lot. We went over a lot, and I think that's awesome. But I have a few more questions, just some fun
all right,
questions to go over, if you're ready.
all right.
All right, so who is your favorite superhero or comic character?
Okay, this is a complicated answer. I'm a complicated person. It switches a lot, right? So usually my top three are Spider-Man, Sentry, and Cap. But Cap gets changed a lot with Wolverine and Hulk.
Okay.
Usually Hulk. Wolverine, I haven't been feeling him on too much lately, but Deadpool Wolverine is still a really good movie. Hugh Jackman is still my Wolverine. The Wolverine is a good movie. Logan was perfect. The X-Men in general are really cool, but I resonate more with the idea of Sentry and the execution we've had in some issues, in some iterations.
Who
And I
was your
resonate more with
first favorite?
Sentry, actually.
Sentry? Okay.
Yeah. I grew up, I was born in '03. He was created in '08. So by the time I was able to read, he was the next big thing with Marvel. One of the first Avengers comic books I ever had was the Dark Avengers run that he was part of.
Okay. Well, that was my next question.
And
What was the first comic book you ever read?
the first comic I ever read was this Christian comic book my mom gave me. It was called Protection of the King or something like that. Or it was no, it was no. I'm lying. That was the something. It was called Good versus Evil. It was like this thick. It
Wow.
was a thick graphic novel. So I guess it was a traditional paperback, but still, it was a thick graphic novel, and it was called Good versus Evil, and it was black and white. It had like the craziest Spawn, like '90s Spawn type art style in black and white, and it was literally the Bible, but portrayed in comic book format.
That's
And
cool.
I was really heavily involved in the church that I was in when I grew up. I was in all the plays. I was doing all the singing. I was doing all the dancing. I was performing all the time in all the children's church, doing all the camping trips, everything. Went to all the baseball games, football games, and everything. And it was me and my brother who were really heavily involved in that. And he got that. He got some Batman comics and a Spawn comic. And Spawn scared me when I was younger.
Right.
So I was like, no, that. But I found this Good versus Evil, and he was like, "Oh, mommy gave it to me. I'm not going to read it." And I was like, "All right, cool. I'll read it." Shit. And I read it, and then I went to the comic book store and said, "Hey, I want this, but like more." And he was like, "We don't have that, but we have this." And he brought me over to Dark Avengers.
Okay.
And he was like, here's this team of Avengers. Do you know the Avengers? Do you know Superman? Do you know not Superman? Do you know Iron Man? Do you know Captain America? I'm like, yeah, I know those characters. He's like, well, this is like them. This is like the same team as them, but different people. And I was like, all right, cool. And read that. Read Sentry #1. Um, realistically, I probably like maybe read a Superman comic or Wonder Woman comic because my mom has always been in love with them. And she used to have comic books when I was younger. So I probably read some of those, like the original, what's her name, Linda Carter,
Yeah.
the original Wonder Woman. Yeah, I had all that on DVD. Had all the Lou Ferrigno on DVD. We had all the original Swamp Thing on DVD, and on VHS and all that. So that Superhero Squad and the Wiggles and Lazy Town were kind of like what I watched. So that was definitely, I think that's definitely it. Dark Avengers, and then probably like that Good and Evil comic book.
If you could live in a comic book universe, which one would it be?
Um,
You can pick one you created too.
I was gonna say probably like I would say I don't want to be cheap and be like I'd live in Hope's universe because I know Hope will give me powers because he's kind of based off of me slightly, so
Right.
he'd be drawn to me. Honestly, I'd take my chance and go to Marvel DC is too crazy. DC every third week there's Darkseid, destroying half the world. Like Gotham is like a nuclear power plant at this point.
Right.
Metropolis looks good, but that's because I don't know. I wouldn't want to go to Invincible because the Invincible War happens and Conquest is a thing, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to go to Spawn because that's too demonic for me, and he does some crazy stuff with his multiverse stuff too.
I love the Deadly Tales of a Gunslinger Spawn. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Right now.
Don't want to go to The Boys because Homelander will murk me. I know for a fact he will. I have a big mouth. He's gonna murk me easy. Yeah, I'm picking Marvel. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
Because at least I know like Iron Man has like he like perfected the Ultron, stuff like in modern comics.
Right.
Thor is like the strongest in comics at this point. Like,
Thor's awesome.
I could probably get Sentry's powers by like just being at the right place at the right time. There's like
Well, so that's the
Luke
next
Cage's
question.
mare.
If you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
Oh, it wouldn't be that. Am I having the superpowers in the universe I picked, or am I having them in this universe?
Anywhere.
In real life.
Either one.
Because if it's the universe I picked, then yeah, I don't want to be like near invulnerable or just like hella strong. Just cause you never know. Some dude could come to you with a ray gun and be like, "Give me your money," and you have nothing to do but disappear into ash. the Marvel black market is crazy.
True. All right. So what about like in your life now? Like what would
in life now? It's probably like flight or super speed in some way, because I just want to get somewhere quickly. Like it'd be cool. Like let me just fly to my job real quick. Like
right.
let me. Oh shoot! The kid let his balloon go. Let me fly up and grab the balloon. I could do some really cool street magic with that too.
For sure.
Or I could rob a lot of people if I had super speed. Wouldn't have to worry about money. Just go into a Walmart and just tap everyone's pockets and leave in 2 seconds.
All right. So, which comic book character would you want as your sidekick? It doesn't have to be a sidekick, but that's there now. That's currently a sidekick. But any superhero you could have as your sidekick.
I want like Crypto or like who's the dog from the Inhumans with the football field goal on his forehead?
Yeah,
forgot his name.
I don't know. Or the Devil Dinosaur, something I could ride. Like I could get some cool armor and like get on the Crypto's back depending on the iteration. Crypto's usually like a bigger dog, so I can hop on Crypto's back and just fly. You know what I mean? Like, why not? There you
go. Crypto, let's go get some food, Crypto. Come on.
All right, the last question. If your life were a comic book, what would the title be?
That's ironic. Because I have a comic book.
That's based off your life.
Right, it is. But it's based off of a part of my life. I don't talk about it much, but it's called 1 Week Away. And it's a story about how I told myself when I was 14, if I don't feel better in a week, then I'm going to end it. And it's a personal story that has me and all my family in it. So I guess the literal answer would be 1 week away because it's literally about me and about, how I battled depression and how it almost took my life.
Well, I'm glad it didn't.
Thank you. But if it was like a literal, like I had to pick one based off of how my life is going, it'd be like, what's that movie that everybody likes with Michelle Yeoh? Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
that'd be what it would be called.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah.
Or something along those lines, because that's what it is right now. It's not going bad. It's not going good.
Just a lot of irons in the fire.
Right, exactly. It's just everything is everywhere all at once. I mean, that's about it.
Well, awesome. I think this was an awesome conversation. We'll link all your bios and socials in the description.
Okay.
Hopefully send you a DM if you want a copy of your book, or go to GlobalComics and read the first copies.
Yes, you can.
But yeah, well, I appreciate you being on with me. I think it was a fun time, and we'll have to do it again. And when
Oh
you
yeah,
get your
for
next
sure.
book out.
I was gonna say, I definitely would love to be a recurring person.
Heck yeah.
I'll tell a bunch of people that I know to hit you up, get some more interviews and everything for you.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being open to sharing the wealth per se, within the scene, because there's a lot of people who would like charge me, or, I've had people try to charge me to be on a podcast or to be on an interview or whatever.
I do not want to charge. Yes. Do I want to make money off this one day? Sure.
Right.
I want to, do this, as a living. Sure. But I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I'm going to charge you to be on my podcast because I got, whatever. I don't want to ever be that person. I feel like we're all in this together. We work together. We help each other. If I can help you sell one book, that's a win in my book. You send some people to like my YouTube page, that's even cooler,
Right.
And one day I will make some money off it, but right now I'm not worried about it. So
yeah, exactly. And I think that's the mindset everyone should have with it.
Agreed.
Not just with podcasting or with interviews or with content, just with creating anything in general. I, from the ages of like 11 to like 14, was like, a local artist, and did a bunch of like paintings on canvases, and I would take pallets and break them apart and do spray paint canvases on there, and like sold a bunch of art, did a bunch of graphic designing stuff, sold a bunch of that stuff. And it was never about making the money. It was always about connecting people to learn the next project I want to do, to become better at what I wanted to do. And when I switched over to graphic designing, and when I switched over from graphic designing to comic books, it's always been the same goal, is to tell everyone what I'm doing, get them interested in it, and get more people that are in the scene already, to get more outreach.
Outreach.
Yep. Because I'm one to build. I'm a builder, for lack of a better term. I'm one to help build. I like, obviously with Radical, I could have, charged out the ass for half the things I did, but I decided, what? No, this will be beneficial, because now I have a solid group of people who will be behind me no matter what, and I don't have to worry about them not knowing who I am or how hard I work, because I've shown them that.
Right.
And they've shown me that, and it's been beneficial both ways. I've had things created for me without even asking. I've had times where I've had to rely on some people from Radical to help me with things, and they said, no problem, you help me with everything anyway. So like that give and take is what I like.
Yep.
Not everything has to be about money. Not everything is about money. Money is not the end all be all. Money comes and goes. I always say that. So if we could all just adopt that mindset, then I think the indie space would be, 10 times better if we all could just share the wealth and just be like, you know what, I like your comic book and I want it to be better, so let me help you with this, which is what I'm always on. So hopefully eventually we get further into that, and hopefully, someone, or sometime someone watches this and watches anything else that either of us are on, relaying the same message, and you're like, you know what, they're right.
That's right.
And maybe we can make a little bit of change, because that'd be awesome.
We're out here fight the power, fight the big guys.
Fight the power.
Hey, well, it was awesome. So thanks so much.